bring back movie/video game rental stores. That's the number one thing for how can video games be fun again. Back in the day, people would go to those stores, rent movies, rent video games, have it for a couple days to an entire week, depending which stores you go to. Either it's Blockbuster Video or Hollywood Video or a mom and pop store. And the other times people would go to the stores, rent movies or rent video games to see if that's what they want. If they play and say, okay, this is the one I want, then go out and buy the game or buy the movie, I mean, that worked for me. And other times you have video game demos, even though you're seeing less of them nowadays. That's the thing I would love to see. I mean, if you're seeing things from 1980s, 1990s making a comeback in 2021, get that nostalgia fever, why not for movie/video game rental stores? That's just me. Number 2, let video games do the talking, or I like to call it delete unrealistic expectations. We saw what happened with games like No Man's Sky being labeled as a Mass Effect killer and how that turned out. Not so great. I remember in my Is Gaming Still Fun Part 3 video back in 2012, someone at Ubisoft popped off, said that Ghost Recon Future Soldier would be a Call of Duty killer despite being a third-person shooter. Which is, like I said, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. That didn't bode so well either now, didn't it? You see games that gets unrealistic, have unrealistic expectations and it falls flat. Watch Dogs 1, Destiny, Titanfall. And I know I'm missing a lot of games as well. And wait, time out. Hold on. And another thing. Cyberpunk 2077. That game was labeled as the video game GOAT, which is the greatest of all time, or it's going to cure AIDS, cancer, it's going to end all wars, it's going to end racism, sexism, classism, whatever. It's going to end murder rates, it's going to take over the world. It's going to save planet Earth from itself, or whatever people were saying. And we saw what happened. The game was in development for 8 or 9 years, been delayed 3 different times. Shoot, it felt more like it was about 5-6 times, but hey, I lost count. Who knew? And you saw the results of the game. Not to mention they lied more than once. So, yeah. Moral of the story, gaming companies need to stop having this unrealistic expectations label being put on the games, or labeled as a so-and-so killer. It just doesn't work. Like I said, let your product speak for itself. If you do that, everything's all gravy, baby. I promise you. More and more people will play it. More and more people will love it. And they will throw more money at you. I'm sorry. Number 3, less buggy games. It's simple. How about address issues before you release the game? To, iron out. If you have to delay it to iron out some bugs, so beat it. I'm good with that. But don't have this, release now, fix later mentality, because we've been seeing a lot of that. I think it begun around in the middle of the 7th gaming generation, and it had a snowball effect. I think the worst part we saw was last generation, which is the 8th gaming era. I mean, you're just seeing games that's just buggy and glitchy out the wazoo. You're like, what in the world is going on? Ever heard of taking your time? Damn. You don't want me to get started with Skyrim because I already talked about that, especially on This Game Is Still Fun Part 3 video. And I already talked about Cyberpunk 2077 in terms of overhype and the game was buggy and glitchy. Trust me, it is. So, and last but not least, I forgot to mention Marvel's Adventures. Oh my goodness. EA's Anthem. It's crazy. It's crazy. Take your time. Number 4, remaster games. I don't have an issue with them. I don't detest them with a passion like some people do. But I hate the fact that people are treating it like it's a freaking sports game where it's being released every single year in the past few years, especially the last couple of years. It's just getting to the point where you're just like, why? This is unnecessary, you know? Now, I understand that people out there want to play games like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Trilogy Remastered for PlayStation 3 because they never played a Splinter Cell game before, or Mass Effect Legendary Edition or Melee, or they had never played it before, or they played some of it, but they want to wait to get everything in one disc so they won't have to go out and spend money on DLCs and things of that nature. So, yeah, but it's just ridiculous that that gaming companies are treating it like it's an annual thing. Speaking of which, number 5 is sports games. I don't hate them. I hate what they're doing to it, where it's released every year with very little to zero improvement. And you're asking gamers to plunk over $60, $70, or $80 plus tax. That's not going to work with them. Fans going to be like, they're going to boycott. They're going to go play something else until y'all do something about it. Because it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, I don't know where this video is going to go. It may be a 2 or 3 part video. That's my thoughts on that. What's yours? I'm out. Thanks for listening.